There we go.
There we go.
Tell you what, you know that song's catchy because it's in my head. Connecting.
Oh,
we can hear you.
There it is. Oh, God. No, dude, you told me it was the good-looking one in the band. Oh.
Wow. Okay. Fuck. Sorry about Johnny.
But everyone knows that Chris is the Stone Cold Stunner.
Sadly,
that doesn't hurt my feelings anymore.
The dickhead's also the attractive one in our group too, so I can't get rid of him. Otherwise, no one will turn up.
Rou, buddy, thank you so much for joining us. This is an absolute pleasure.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
This is a real treat for us because, and I don't know if you know this, The Dreamers Hotel was the very first song we ever did as Nathan Johnny. So this is like a full circle nice moment for us.
Yeah, when we came up with the idea to try reactions, it was, we were both, it couldn't have been a better band, really.
It was literally Johnny's like, oh, have you ever watched reactions? I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, well, we'll like watch things, do this. And I was like, Enter Shikari just released something new and I love Enter Shikari. So this is this is a lovely little moment for us, man.
Actually, a little bit of history. Probably one of the reasons why we're so tight is because of you guys. And it's because like I come from the more metal side of things. Nath came from the sort of the more punk side of things. And we didn't have a lot of friends that were...
We still don't.
We didn't have a lot of friends that were into you guys, which were kind of a little bit sort of different. But we both loved you. And yeah, we sort of had that connection because no one else wanted to come and see you guys with us. But we both have been to every show together.
No, I've missed them the last 2 times because I'm a dickhead that travels a lot.
Yeah, he's a dickhead.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, that's awesome, man.
So yeah, this is very nice. So thank you for taking the time. And also just thanks for being part of our musical journey. So it's really nice to have you on. How the fuck are you?
It's always amazing to hear like those kind of stories, you know. It's sort of, it does like give you a bit of it reframes things, doesn't it? Like you sort of understand once more like what music's all about, like bringing people together and making friendships and connecting people all over the world. So yeah, nice. That's amazing to hear.
In a very roundabout way, you've had your hand at introducing the world to heaps of other artists too, because if we hadn't done like your song, we would have built the platform and got to the point where we can actually like introduce artists and stuff. So really, that's all because of you. Yeah. Take that credit and get a big credit.
You don't get a cut. You don't make any money anyway. Loving the purple aesthetic as well, by the way.
So I even closed my blinds to try and make the room look good. It looks pretty hideous when it's daylight and all the lights are up and you can see all the cracks in the ceiling.
It doesn't quite have the same ambiance.
No, it's a shabby old room, my studio. It definitely needs a lick of paint.
That's okay. It's all about the sound, not the aesthetic.
Exactly.
Are you going to paint it yourself?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm in a state where I've been in this house for like, it's coming up to 10 years. So I do want to sort of move. I feel like I'm in a part of London where I don't really know why I'm here anymore. Like all my friends have sort of moved out and I feel a bit stranded. So I'm sort of half trying to look for a new place, but at the same time, obviously the economy is in the shit. So I don't really know if I should be moving right now or not. So, but yeah, maybe I will end up getting the paintbrush out and
I only ask because painting is literally the worst job. Like I hate it so much.
I don't mind it. Like I actually had a brief stint as I can't really say that I was a decorator, but I worked for like 3 or 4 jobs like with a decorator doing loads of painting when I was a kid, like I don't know, like 17, 18 or something. And I sort of found it quite relaxing and sort of meditative, you know, just getting lost in it, listening to music.
I agree. It's when the light hits it and you can see it's like, oh fuck, man, like what the hell? Like where did all these lines come from? Like, and then you just feel so bad about yourself.
Maybe you're just a shit painter. Maybe if you're half decent, that's all right. So you guys are like a week away from Reading. Is that correct? When's Reading? It's
Yes.
very soon, right?
Yeah, basically the lads loaded in to our rehearsal space this morning. And we're rehearsing all this week and we head to Reading on Saturday. Yeah.
How
So
exciting.
yeah, buzzing, man. It's like the festival that we went to as kids. It's like
Yeah,
it's
okay.
probably the only festival that I seriously get like butterflies, like real nerves before we play. Like without a doubt, every year we play, even though this is like the 10th, 11th time we played it or something, it's
I was
still
gonna say you guys have didn't you have like once you like playing like the whole day type situation? You had something where you did something that no one else had ever done before.
yeah, we hold a few records at Reading and Leeds. Yeah, one of them is the most amount of times played during the weekend. So we did 5 shows, 2 full sets at Leeds, 2 full sets at Reading, and then we also did an acoustic set at Reading as well. That was never doing that again. That was
Yeah, I
insane.
can imagine. Be enough practicing for one show, let alone 5.
Yeah, oh man. And it was so this was 2019, and it was during a massive heat wave, so it was about 34 degrees all weekend. And I remember just getting off. The last set was the big one, if you like, the main stage set at Reading on the Sunday. I remember just coming off stage and literally just collapsing on the floor, just like it was so intense.
So was it different sets? Like, was there any reason for it,
Yeah.
or?
Literally just to take that record because
Right.
someone had done it 4 and we were like, okay, well, we're gonna do it 5. But yeah, we had like a sort of a more sort of raucous set, I guess, more punk set in the lockup tent, which was like a late night thing. And then we had the main stage set, which was kind of, the hits in sort of mid-afternoon. Yeah, and then the acoustic set. I say acoustic, it was still like let's just say like a kind of drawn down set, like Rob had his like drum pads and stuff. It was kind of, it still had loads of interesting textures. It wasn't just 4 chords and the truth. It was still something that we had to rehearse for as well. So it was it was a really challenging but fun weekend.
Also considering that would have been one of the last big shows you did before the world decided to shut down. Maybe it was
Yeah.
fortuitous that you got to get as much done as you possibly could before the break.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Probably after that we were like, oh yeah, we could do the break, sweet, but then not fucking 2 years.
Yeah, 100%. I said the same thing about 2019. I traveled like 6 months a year, and I'm like, man, in 2020 I want to stay home till March, and then 2022 I was still like, man, I can really leave the house by now.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
pretty
god.
wild.
We the last tour we did was actually Australia, the Good Things Festival. That before, so that was December, and then we were still finalizing our new album. So yeah, that was the last tour we did, and I have incredible memories of that tour. That was great fun.
So
Amazing atmosphere.
you said that you still get a sense of nervousness when you play Reading, that you don't get from, like in general. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's just because it's so special to you, or?
Nostalgia.
I think it is the nostalgia. Yeah, just the thought of, my sort of core memories, if you like, are of like standing looking at the stage from like an audience perspective. And I went about 3 years, I think 3 years before we played it, so it was just already in my mind that like it was my first festival experience as a punter. It was my most continuous. It was so it was just in my mind that I belong in the audience, not like trying to perform on the stage, and so I guess it's just I think just experiencing things at such a young age, you're so sort of like, wide-eyed, and you're taking it all in, and it's, a festival is a mad thing. It's like this massive expanse of just anarchy, like basically. So it's it just still fills me with nerves, I think.
The follow-on for that is a question we normally wait as our would you rather at the end, but would you personally prefer to play festival shows or like solo shows?
I think festivals, like festivals are just my favorite thing to do in the world. Like they're, you know, it's I often get like quite sort of misty eyed or like philosophical about festivals because they are the only situation in life, in modern life, where we come together as a mass indiscriminately, with the important thing there. And we like celebrate life and we connect, like we celebrate human connection. And there's literally nowhere else where that happens. You know, religion to some extent did for a while, but that was discriminate by definition.
Very much, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
that's
yeah,
a
it's
really
like,
good point. Yeah, I mean, everybody's there with the same intention, just the
I
same
was
for
gonna
the
say
same.
I don't agree with that in
Really?
Australia because you have a huge proportion of people that are like, I'm going to get fucked up, and there's some people there who are going for like some people go to festivals and don't look at the lineup. They're just going for the experience of getting fucked up at a festival.
But they're going for a good time, essentially, to enjoy music with their friends and have a good time. There's no ulterior motive, you know. It's not like, you know, people say that when they're going to watch sport or whatever, but you've got two sides supporting different teams. You know, you go to a rally and you got two sides arguing over different things. It's
Yeah, I guess you're all there to watch the same thing and not
yeah.
with having different opinions about that thing. I know too many people that be like, I don't remember that day at all. That's not my experience of festivals. It's not why I go to festivals, but
it's an escape, isn't it? At that point, it's
yeah,
just
fully.
it's still getting away from the world, I suppose, and connecting with your friends. But it's yeah, whether it involves music or not,
Or whether
Yeah.
their friends are involved or it's all in their own head.
But like I remember like back when like you obviously remember Soundwave Festival. And that was our big festival for a long, long time, very successful. It was basically the biggest sort of, you know, combination of heavy punk rock music that we had. And I remember after a few years, you'd have like people in your group of mates that would be like, oh, I don't think I'll go this year. The lineup's shit. There's only 4 bands that I really like, and the others I've seen, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I was always of the mind frame of, fuck that, man. You're going to have a good time. We're all going to be together. We're going to be having a few beers, watching music. Like, who cares if you've seen them? Like, as if you're not going to have a great time. And then
yeah.
it was stripped away from us. We lost Soundwave, and then the world lost music, essentially.
Yeah.
And I basically vowed to myself, and this channel's been great for that because we get so many cool opportunities. But I was just like, man, I am going to do my damnedest to not pass up those opportunities anymore.
Yeah, fully.
Like,
yeah, we all like just, you know, think back and think, oh Christ, I should have gone to that festival. I should have in kind of those years where you've just got nothing. But yeah, I think they're I don't know, yeah, it's something that we all miss when it's not given to us on a plate, isn't it? It's
With that being said, do you think the flip side of that as an artist and someone that's creating the music, I know like you've spoken about having a period where you weren't creative, you weren't feeling inspired to write music. Is that something that after a while, having it gone for so long, that now you've sort of got the itch back to get back out there and do it now that live music's playing and you're able to kind of have a feel for it? Does that reinvigorate you again?
Yeah, even our first show back, which was kind of midsummer last year, we played a pilot festival. It was like a government funded experiment.
That was a download one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was, oh, it was just so surreal, you know, the feeling of just exhilaration that everyone had, like finally being back in a field like together. And it was incredible. And I think straight after that, I started to feel like a sense of purpose. You know, it just reminded me of why I write music, and therefore the music started to flow out of me again. But like, yeah, those I mean 2020 and most of 2021 was kind of just like a dry well, you know. I just like sort of had nothing was coming, you know. In 2020 I had other things to concentrate on because I was still writing my book, but like to have such a sustained period without being creative in a musical sense is completely foreign to me. You know, I've been writing music since I was 12 so like it was a very, very strange time. And just, you know, like I think everyone like went through various kind of difficulties like mentally during like the past few years.
Mm.
And that was like a real struggle for me, because you just lose your sense of identity. Like if I don't like write music, then like what am I, like what am I doing here? Like so yeah, it was a weird one. But pretty much after that festival, and after we did a tour late last year in the UK, headline tour, and things started to sort of make sense again, and I got kind of I don't know, sort of the rush started to come back of like not only being able to write, but like the thrill of it, you know, and wanting to write and feeling like the pull of it, the magnetism.
Probably had a hell of a lot of stuff that you could write about as well after 2 years of being, you know, stuck in a prison essentially.
Yeah, well, that was literally during the whole lockdown. Like I remember, like occasion, like it was almost like every few weeks that like someone would like tweet me or something saying like, well, at least we're going to get an amazing, like really political Enter Shikari album out of this. And I was just like, oh, like
more pressure. So the question there, which maybe this is a too deep, but did you find who you are without the music? Did you find a sense of like self and purpose through that period, or was it something that you're like, no, I needed the music to come back because that's really who I identify myself as? Or were you able to find another version of Rou within that?
Yeah, I mean, it's good because it forced me to immerse myself in other things, and just like to have my life for once not saturated by music. So I mean the book was a bit of a savior, because that's still kind of creative, you know, like I'm still like, it's creative writing to a sense, even though it's a very sort of factual book. So that was, I was able to put loads of like effort into that, and just the research that was the main thing that took the time with that. So that's where I spent a lot of my time. But then things like gardening, like the most, you know, supposedly like unrock and roll thing you could think of, like just learning like so much like from my dad and stuff. Like it's something like just growing food, which should be the most obvious thing that we should all be taught. Like, how do we sustain our own lives? It's completely lost, like in our generation. Like no one has a clue how to grow anything.
I got nothing.
Yeah, and it's just scary, isn't it? So like yeah, I kind of delved into that quite a lot. But yeah, so that there's always like positive things, or you know, experiences or ways that your mind broadens when you go through some sort of sense of adversity. So yeah, no, it was a good time.
And what, sorry, I was going to follow that, was just like, you guys as a band have had the same iteration of members the whole way through. What was that experience like, being apart from each other for so long without having that? Because like as a band and friends, you guys have been together consistently for the past however many years, to all of a sudden have that stripped away. Did that make it harder?
Yeah, it was horrible, really. Like the when we released Nothing Is True and Everything Is Possible, it was like a couple of weeks into the first lockdown or something here in the UK. So like I remember having on release day a Zoom party, like, and it was just the most kind of wet anticlimax of like a thing. You know, we'd worked on this album for a year. I remember that the Good Things Festival, like when we were doing the final bits before it went to mixing, and I remember being like coming off stage, going back to the hotel, like working through the night with Rory, like we were editing things, and like, you know, the blood, sweat and tears that went into making that album. And then like we just couldn't even be together as a band, let alone with other fans and people that, you know, support us. That was just horrible. Like it just felt like it hadn't really been released into the world, which was just really frustrating. But at the same time, then on top of that, there was like a real cocktail of emotions, because you started to feel like guilty for being frustrated about that, when like people are dying, like people are losing their like grandparents and even younger generations. So it's like, so there was just like this, I'm like frustrated and all self-pity, but at the same time I shouldn't feel that. So then you're angry with yourself, but you just go into this like spiral.
I don't know how to feel.
Yeah. Sure. So when coming back to like, because obviously you guys are starting a tour again now and stuff like that, has had that sort of time off, that forced time off. Like, obviously you're keen to get back into it, but has it given you kind of like, are you taking like a new approach to how you do things moving forward, because you've had that sort of chance to sort of step back, sit away for 2 years, the better part of 2 years, and sort of reset? Is there anything the band is going to do sort of differently in terms of preparation for touring and all that sort of stuff?
I'm not sure. I think that, I mean, there's certainly like a renewed sense of gratitude, I guess, like just the ability to be able to perform again and to be able to like feel that sense of cyclical energy and connect with people and see the fire in people's eyes when they're shouting the lyrics back and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's, it's not that that ever became like something that you took for granted, but like there's a renewed sense of just like urgency and intensity, like just how amazing that is. But in terms of preparation, I don't know. I think we're just sort of slipping back into how, you know, where we left off to a certain extent.
Yeah.
You know, there were the first like tours, we couldn't like go in the audience or anything, you know, still trying to stop human interaction as much as possible. So that was weird. Again, that was kind of like a anticlimax, because like the first shows back and you couldn't really enjoy them like 100% and, you know, throw yourself into the audience and that kind of thing. So that was a bit wet, but
Yeah, especially for a band
yeah.
like you guys, like, even though, you know, you're essentially not, you know, like a punk hardcore band or whatever, but you guys have always had that sort of ethos about you. Like, watching your shows, like, there's always been that close connection between you guys and the fans. That
It's
you're
really
not
hard to do a human pyramid when you can't touch each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, we grew up in a hardcore punk scene, so that was kind of, that was our first experience of live music. So that's kind of drilled into us that it's normality to put that amount of passion and that amount of energy into your sets, and that amount of kind of I keep saying human connection over and over again. That just sense of like togetherness. That is all completely natural for us. So it's something that when you take that away, you come off stage and you don't feel fully, you weren't immersed in it, you know. It wasn't natural and it wasn't real.
I want to touch on the brand new single because you, my friend, are becoming quite the producer, obviously doing your own album, but I feel like everything you're touching is just getting better and better. And the new single is a testament to that. Can you talk
Thank
through
you.
like
Awesome.
that's I mean you've got your studio there, but is that something that you've were able to do yourself throughout lockdown at all, like kind of hone those skills a bit more, or is that just God-given talent?
Oh man, I mean, it took me years to like basically gain the, not just the skill set and experience, but confidence really to sort of call myself a producer. Because like a lot of bands will co-produce or self-produce, but like, you know, they'll still have someone overlooking it, or I don't know, they'll never fully like think of themselves as a producer. And there's definitely a sense within music that like a producer, a mixing engineer, and definitely a mastering engineer, like it's a dark art. There's like this, oh, like these are magicians, you know, like wizards. Like how do they do this? Like, so there was that sense of just like, that's not you. You don't belong there, you know, like you didn't go to university to study this. Or I did a year of music technology, but then I dropped out because the band started getting big. So like there was that just sort of sense of that's not me. But just by the time Nothing Is True came around, like I was so involved in the production on The Spark. I mean, I was a co-producer on that. By the time Nothing Is True came around, it was like I couldn't see any other way that it would work, because there was so much creativity in the production side of it, and so much of the songwriting was relying on the production sounding a certain way, or the texture being delivered in a certain way. So like at that point it was like, well, it was a necessity. and that often happens with me because I'm not really like a massively self-confident person. So like it's usually
We've
when
got
something
that.
becomes
I don't belong on the main stage.
When something becomes a necessity, then I finally like, you know, we'll walk into those boots. But yeah, no, I love it. Like I do just see it as an extension of the creative process now, and it's something that I've become more and more confident with. And yeah, with the Void, it's probably the most produced track. You know, we never played the Void in a room as a band before we recorded it. It was all like done in a studio, everyone recording their bit one by one, and just like crafted and sculpted slowly. So it was a kind of a test, really. You know, after the success of Nothing Is True, I wanted to sort of really push the boat out in terms of the production. So yeah, thank you for the kind words.
So
we're gonna get better at this. With the fact that like your band has been with you the whole time, they're used to like your creative input. How was that for you then going in with like Orgasm to be able to go, okay, either have the confidence on yourself or how to communicate what you envision to them when you've done most of your own stuff in the past?
I mean, yeah, I've always found it really scary, like work, you know, because I've only really written music by myself, and you know, also with the band to like some extent, but usually like the sort of skeleton of a track, the core ideas will come from me sitting here or sitting on a tour bus, like just by myself. So, yeah, it's always quite frightening, and you know, I'm not the best sort of communicator either. Like social anxiety is a thing for me, so like I've always found it really difficult to like write with other people. But then like a few years ago I did lots of like writing camps basically, and started writing outside of Shikari. This was like the year before lockdowns and things, and I learned so much, you know, and I gained so much confidence. And it was you know, the typical sort of cliched thing, like you have to push yourself right to the edge of your comfort zone, across it, and that's how you like progress as a person in whatever field, really. And so that really helped. And yeah, and Orgasm are great, you know, like we knew them anyway, we've met them a couple of times here and there, and we had lots of mutual friends, so it was like quite easy to sort of just slip in and work together, and they were brilliant, you know. Like Sam came back with like some awesome ideas like straight away, and just like really took the track to the next level.
So
go Johnny, you got this.
So it's interesting that we've just now touched on you as a producer, and also your songwriting, and you know, bringing other sort of artists in and that sort of stuff. It's always impressed me how you guys had this sound that no one else was really doing, and there were sort of, you know, elements of it on the earlier albums, and then it's progressed more and more. Do you find it hard to keep being that band that is its own monster, I guess, with its own sound? And do you ever feel any pressure to, like you said, push yourself to your limits to keep creating things? Is there a fear of people getting, you know, thinking that you've gone stale with the elements that you use, or how do you sort of get through all that sort of stuff?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's always there subconsciously, and you know, occasionally it'll come into your consciousness, and you will feel all of those pressures that you listed, I think. I try, like on a logical basis, just to not think about pleasing or displeasing an audience at all. Who is it? Oscar Wilde talked about how like that whole thing is futile, basically, and a true artist should take no notice of whatsoever of his audience. And I think that's kind of really good advice, because a lot of the time the audience thinks they know what they want, but they're quite blinkered, because they can only imagine what they've heard.
Yeah, fully.
And it takes like someone to come in and go, actually, you probably would like this, and they're like, oh fuck yeah, that's amazing, and then their horizons broaden. So it's difficult, because you can like sound like such an egotistical bastard, but you just have to think that like you know better,
Basically.
Yeah,
but that's even so though. It's like, even taking the fans out of it, are you like a self-critical songwriter musician? Do you put that pressure on yourself where you hear something that you've done and you go, oh, God, it's not good enough, like it needs to be different or better?
Yeah, hugely. I mean, the amount of sessions I've had that will end up just being canned is far outweighs the, probably quadruples the amount of like songs that will actually end up being made. And then half of them don't make the cut. So yeah, there's I think I'm a fairly good like filter. And then the rest of the guys are a really good filter as well. I rely quite heavily on taking ideas to them. And if it doesn't excite them, then I have to start questioning, well, does it excite me? And if it does, then I need to work on whatever it is about the track that excites me, and then like amplify that and try and make it excite them.
Well, Nath touched on, you guys have been the same band for years. Like, have they got that sort of comfort and confidence to just say, "Nah, mate, that's shit. That ain't it."
Definitely, yeah. I think you have
a little bit
like...
too much.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll go cry.
Because, yeah. I mean, because it's a difficult one, because like anything you make, you have put a bit of your soul into, so you've connected to it. Like, especially if it's like with Enter Shikari, I am writing about my own experiences and writing about my own emotions. So it's like there is always a part of you in whatever you write. So it can be difficult. Like, the conversations have often been difficult, but like I wouldn't want it any other way. I think everything in any walk of life, you want honesty, like before anything else, really. Otherwise, how can you have any perspective on anything?
Yeah.
And the guys are great at that. But yeah, it's often a sort of weird, entangled, like strange conversations, but we get there in the end. Yeah.
And we are lucky enough to have you finally coming back down under in like a month, which is so exciting.
Hell yeah.
Can we talk about how are you guys finding set lists? Because you have quite the back catalog now. Is that the worst thing in the world, having to plan that?
Answered it.
Wait, I think, like, just talking about how we communicate song ideas and feedback on that, like that, it can get awkward, but it's always fine. Set lists, like, we've almost come to blows over set lists. That's a different thing entirely. Like, we'll all have a completely different, like, idea of what a set should be, what songs should be played. And yeah, it's often a difficult one. It's really hard at the moment because our Reading set list is only I think it's 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes. So yeah, like 6 albums worth of material, and then like early B-sides and things as well. Like it's so difficult. So we don't really have like a way of deciding. It's just, I think the only thing we try and keep in mind is we want to always show the breadth, like we pride ourselves on our musical agility. Like that 100%. Is, I feel like, what we were brought up around, so many different styles of music is immersed into us. So that's what we still try and do. But other than that, yeah, it's just difficult.
I don't envy that.
No, for sure. And because obviously you feel pressured to play the hits, but then you've obviously got songs that are not necessarily hits, but they're crowd favorites. I want to see a band with a catalog as extensive as yours. Do it like, make a big thing out of it. Do a live stream or something and go, right, this is going to be the name in a hat tour. And you just put all of your song names in a hat and just pick the set list like that, completely random. I reckon that'd be really...
I would love to pay to watch that. That would be a hell of a time. Just be like, well, that's...
The thing is, the amount of work that would take.
So much practice.
Relearning. Like, we're far too lazy.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Maybe you just do like, here's 5 songs off each album, and they're the ones that we get. And then it's just luck of the draw. Then it's less work, but you still get some spontaneity. Also, you guys are great at also mixing up your own stuff. This is one of the things that how I've sold you on to people when I've tried to describe. It's been like, the live experience is never the album experience. And like the live albums you've got, on like streaming platforms and stuff are some of my favorite live albums, because it's not just, oh, you're just hearing that song live. You're hearing a completely different experience, which is something that is you guys do like no one else. So man, live and spontaneity, that could be fun.
No, thank you very much, Matt, man. Yeah, like I think there's definitely an idea there. We'll have to do something like that. Like we've never even done the thing where you do like, 4 nights at a venue and you do an album each night or something. Like I would love to do something like that at some point.
Hell
but
yeah.
It would be a lot of work.
What do they call it? An evening with, or whatever it is, where they play like a set of older songs, then a set of like acoustic songs, and then a set of heavier songs.
Yeah, Taking Back Sunday did that in 2019, and Newfound as well.
Yeah, I know a lot of Chamberlain did one as well that was fantastic. I know a lot of bands for a while were doing like online voting as well. Like you had like lists that they could vote, but like you said, so many songs, and you're never going to please everyone anyway.
Yes, there will always be people complaining that you didn't play that track that was a B-side on your 3rd single and no one ever heard.
Yeah. So the controversial question: do you have any songs you really don't like playing
that people love to hear?
No, they don't even have to love to hear, but like ones you like you said they come to blow. Do you personally have songs you're like, I don't really want to play that anymore?
I mean, I think the obvious answer is things like "Sorry Not a Winner," because we played them
a billion times.
We played that song at every show we've ever played, apart from there was about a 9-month stint where we actually retired it from the set because we were like, there's no emotion left in this song for us. It needs to be put on the subs bench. And I think like occasionally we have stuck to that kind of idea that when like literally we're just going through the motions, effectively we're acting on stage, like at that point like the song will be put to bed for a while. It happened to me recently with Mothership as well. It's just all the songs that we've played so much. I still like, I love them as songs, but like it's just the same with anything. If you're doing the same thing every day, it will just become routine and it will lose the vigor that you had in it.
I know Thrice did the same thing with Deadbolt, and they actually turned it into a joke where they had they released merch that said "Play Deadbolt" because it was the one song that everyone wanted.
Go back to your ethos of just like, you know best. Play the stuff you want to do, and they'll get behind it. So, as we said, you're coming to Oz soon. Johnny's put together a little Australian quiz. You guys have been here a lot more than most bands.
Yeah.
How do you feel your Australian knowledge is?
Probably terrible. Like, I have a bad memory for everything that isn't music based.
The good news is this is the most random quiz in the world, so you might do okay. It's
all right.
We'll see. No pressure. There is absolutely no pressure.
Yeah,
I wish it was.
We've had bands get
with me.
We've had bands get 7 or 8. We've had bands get 2.
Okay.
Not naming.
No one's gonna 100%.
I wish I had Rory with me because he was he spent a lot of his earlier years in Australia, so he'd probably nail it. But
all right.
You can pass this on. I'll do it and see how it goes.
Yeah. You can take all the credit. Okay, so we've split it up into 3 parts. All right, music and entertainment, wildlife and food, and just Australian knowledge and history.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I actually did work for once, right?
It never happens.
So the first question: who is Australia's most successful band of all time?
Oh, Christ. I have no idea.
Would you like a genre? A hint?
Sure.
It's straight up. It's as rock as you get.
Rock and roll, baby.
And when we tell you, if you don't get this, you're going to kick yourself.
Okay. I'm fully prepared to kick myself.
AC/DC.
Oh, fucking hell. Right. Yeah.
You can redeem yourself by guessing which country have they never had a top 20 hit in. And it's a big one.
Oh, China?
No, second person that said that was actually America.
Never had a top 20 hit in America.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and they sell out like stadium tours there, but have never had a top 20 hit.
Damn, so it's true. That's like truly a cult band then, isn't it? Really?
Proper, yeah.
All right, number 2. Name 3 Australian actors.
Oh, fucking hell. I'm so shit with actors and films and
Mate, all you could do for 2 years was watch movies.
Never once read the names though.
Yeah.
All right, the geezer who played Gladiator.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll allow this. Just you don't have any names. Russell Crowe.
I'll allow it because he
Russell
called him
Crowe.
a geezer.
There we go. All right, the lass who started in Neighbours and then became a pop star.
Which one?
Was there a few?
There's been a couple.
I always get her mixed up with Madonna.
Oh,
yeah, I know
I know what one you're talking about.
Do you want Johnny to sing for you? He could sing a song and then
it might help. Yeah.
Oh, what song? I'm spinning around.
Get out of my way.
There we go.
Because you like it like this. Okay, and
it was Kylie Minogue, by the way, but we know you know who it
Kylie
is.
Minogue. Yeah. Honestly, like this is how bad I am. Like I just don't remember anyone's name. Australian actors.
Do you like Marvel movies?
Not really. I haven't really watched any of them.
That hint whenever you had them, that's fine.
You know, I've been watching. I couldn't even name any actual Marvel characters apart from Spider-Man, let alone the actors. I've been watching that. Do you know that series, The Boys?
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
The superhero.
That's great.
I can't work out. You know, who's the sort of the proper geezer who comes in and helps? You know, he first says he's in the FBI. He's like,
Carl Urban.
Yeah, is he like? What nationality is he? Because he's obviously
Is
sort
he
of trying
Aussie?
to do like
he's New Zealand.
Cockney.
Oh,
He's New Zealand. Yeah, because his accent is not quite right, and every now and then
It's pretty good though. But
it's
yeah,
good. Yeah, it's
as
good. And they've got
a Brit, you'd pick it up more than anyone else. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you one that you should probably know. You've got Margot Robbie.
Oh yeah.
Hugh Jackman.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And then not Kylie Minogue. Nicole Kidman's probably the biggest one as well.
Kate Blanchett. You got the Hemsworths.
Yeah.
You could have gone one. She died last week. It's quite sad. Olivia Newton-John.
Oh yeah, she did too.
I didn't even know she was Australian. Wow.
Yeah. Grease Lightning, baby.
I hope you're writing these down.
All right. Now this one I think I've overshot. No one gets this, okay? But you obviously know who Parkway Drive are. What famous surf town do they come from? If you get this, I'm giving you 3 points.
Isn't every coastal town in Australia a surf town?
But they don't come from all of them. They come from one.
Is it like one of the main cities?
No. It has its own destination.
Christ, well,
And
I have no idea.
It might not be somewhere you've been before. Have you been to Byron Bay before?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's where Parkway Drive are from.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, no, I've had a dip in Byron Bay. Yeah, I haven't.
It is delightful there.
Nice area.
Yeah.
All right. Australia is home to the world's deadliest spider. Do you know what it's called?
I'm not sure, but they all have pretty sick names, don't they?
This one doesn't. It has a fairly dull name, to be honest.
Show me a picture of that nasty fucker.
Oh God.
That's the beast right now.
Does it jump?
No, but it raises
it stands up on its legs and shows its fangs.
Oh.
Yeah, they're pretty terrifying.
Yeah, they're pretty gross.
It's called the Sydney funnel web.
Yeah. It hasn't killed anyone for a while, but yeah, it's the world's deadliest spider. So
I remember
arms up in the air.
Wow. Oh, he's furious.
Oh, that's the girl too. The women are far bigger than the men. Yeah, she furious.
There's my innate sexism coming through then, just assuming.
Must be a bloke.
How dare you?
Yeah.
All right. Now, no one's got this one. It'll be a shot in the dark for you. What type of animal is the Australian Western gobbleguts?
See, another sick name.
Yeah, that is a great
It's a
name.
good name.
Bubble guts.
Pretty shit animal, though, to be honest.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Very disappointing when you find out.
Is it cuddly?
No.
Not many things in Australia are.
Except me.
Is it an insect?
No.
Oh, okay. It's not so uncuddly that it's an insect, but it's not cuddly. Is it water-based?
It is. It is.
That doesn't get me any closer, to be honest, in my mind, anyway.
You're closer than almost everyone so far.
Okay. Is it like some kind of Oh no, because a beaver's kind of cuddly, isn't it? Is it a fish? A fish is definitely not cuddly.
That's it. Look at that basic bitch.
Amazing.
What a shit fish.
It's not even colourful. Like I say, it's like some backseat, like B grade character off Nemo that they don't even show.
Yeah.
All right. What is a golden gay time?
Probably the first person to get a giggle on that one too.
It's not urine based. Don't worry.
Okay. A golden gay time. What is it? Another animal?
No, it's not.
An alcoholic drink?
Oh, not a bad guess.
Not a bad guess.
But
It's a
actually
delicious ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get you boys one when it's actually so good. It's like honeycomb and vanilla with like crunchy biscuit bits all over the outside and chocolate. It's
damn.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
All right, the last section, Australian knowledge and history. Okay. What is a bogan?
A bogan. I see. I've had this explained to me many times. So is it still like a politically correct term?
Nothing Australia's politically correct.
Nothing is.
So it's like an insult, right? So it's like a person who's like, is it somewhere between like trailer trash and like
yeah,
redneck?
Yeah, you're the only person to get that.
Literally first person to get that. So well done.
Yeah, it's basically our version of like what Americans would call a redneck.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Which famous Australian coined the phrase "crikey"? Crikey. If you say it like that. Have you heard that before?
Oh, mate, I say it all the time.
I just don't know who you're referencing.
Yeah. How old are we talking? Is it an actor?
Nah, not an actor.
No.
It'd be 20 or so years ago that was first like popular.
Oh, I thought it might have been
maybe
like even
longer. Yeah, maybe even longer. Could have been 25, 30.
It's not no, it's not a like a naturalist, like a person involved with animals or whatever.
Oh, he's
hot. I have an image of someone in my head, but I can't think.
How would you describe that person? We've decided you're terrible at names, but we'll allow you if you can describe the person. You can get points.
Wait, no, I'm getting mixed up with the what's his name? The sort of the guy who got killed by
the stingray.
Is it him?
That's him, the crocodile hunter.
Steve Irwin.
Yay! There we go.
Well done.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like we've helped you more than anyone else in this one, but that's
you're
fine.
getting. That's all right. We love the band, so you're getting more Australian by the second. All right. This is Nathan's favorite one. He loves this one.
I do love this one, and I feel like you're going to get this one right. So this is a true or false question. So in 1932, there was a thing called the Emu Wars, where soldiers from the Australian military engaged in a week-long battle with a force of 20,000 emus. They'd been destroying wheat crops and stuff, and the military lost. Is this true or false?
Please say that's true. It's got to be true.
It's true.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
It's so stupid that it can't be false.
Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible.
Well,
was it just the sheer amount of them?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
literally didn't have
that's
the
it.
ammunition to beat 20,000 emus. I don't know if you've seen an emu up close. They're pretty intimidating too. Like they're big.
Yeah,
things.
quite big, aren't they?
Yeah, huge.
Massive. Yeah. All right. So on that one, which of these places, if any, is a fake name? Funny Knob Creek, Pensioners Bush, or Mossy Nipple Bend?
Fuck's sake.
This is the worst chat you've ever had with anyone.
Just cancelled the Australian tour.
Mossy Nipple Band sounds believable. It's like because they're often quite like the silly place names are quite phonetically pleasing. Like Mossy Nipple Band. Yeah, that sounds quite believable. What was the first one?
Funny Knob Creek.
Yeah, that's too ridiculous. That's got to be true. I'll go with Pensioners Bush.
They're all real.
They're all real.
Whoa.
Australia is a joke. Go to Tasmania. They're all in Tasmania.
Right. Okay.
So there's somewhere for you to explore when you're here.
All right. Now we do always like to ask a few would you rathers, okay? Because this is what people really want to know. All right. So would you rather every single day for the rest of your life, once a day you have to listen to one of these songs? Creed with Arms Wide Open or Nickelback Photograph? What do you choose?
Every day.
Every day.
Once a day, every day.
I wouldn't wish either of those on my worst enemies. I'll probably have to go with Creed.
Oh,
okay. Controversial. Why is that?
Yeah. I think I didn't even like Nickelback like before they were like a meme of being bad and before the meme of the photograph and then it just
look at this graph. Kills me every time I see that meme.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, they've like managed to sustain their annoying height, whereas Creed I guess have just kind of people have maybe forgotten about them for a bit, so like they're not as annoying. But
had a chat with a band last week that we haven't released this yet, so I won't tell who it is, but they said that they once got to see the singer from Creed in a bar with just 5 other people. I was like, oh, how the mighty have fallen. You're not seeing Nickelback in a pub with 5 people. They still sell out stadiums.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I don't even know if Creed got back together if they'd sell out anymore.
Tremonti's got a big name as a guitarist. Like people would probably go to see him.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know.
Okay, so we won't ask. We're going to ask the Marvel Star Wars question. You're not really Marvel fans. We'll cut that one out. Are you a Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter fan?
Literally the only thing in science fiction world that, of like mainstream science fiction world that I'm a fan of is Star Wars. Like I'm a massive Star Wars person, but like my girlfriend, me and my girlfriend had a sort of pact. Like I sat down with her to watch the whole of Harry Potter, and she was going to sit down with me and watch the whole of Star Wars, but she got about a couple of films in and stopped, and it was almost a breaking up thing.
Oh, but, we need to.
Look, you deserve better. Like,
I'm so sorry.
So, who would you be in Star Wars then? Who would you play in Star Wars?
I don't know. It's got to be like a secondary character, hasn't it? Like immediately,
that just says a lot about your personality, by the way. I can't be the main person.
No, I could see you being like a Poe Dameron or like Han Solo style character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Han Solo's a bit too rapey though, isn't he?
That's what he was insinuating. I'm so sorry about Johnny. You're creepy. Like that.
Yeah. Who would it be? I really like I don't know his name, the really like sort of wise sage character in Rogue One.
Oh yeah.
Is he sort of like a samurai type, you know,
Yeah.
Yes.
sort of
Does
quiet
the
philosophical
whole bite
dude?
everyone in the middle bit. Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know his
yeah.
name either. That's gonna frustrate me. I
Yeah,
need to
no,
go
that
watch that
dude's
movie
great.
again.
That dude's great.
He sort of ends up like sacrificing himself.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
sick.
For the greater good. What a dude. What a
Yeah.
dude.
All right. The divisive one.
Yeah, we'll finish with this. And this is one we've asked every single interview. You have to go on stage. You're warm, you're dry, you're comfortable, you're ready to rock out, and you have to put on cold, wet undies or cold, wet socks. What are you putting on?
Undies every time, without a
Oh,
doubt. I
man.
can't, like, if my feet get wet whilst wearing socks and shoes, I become so cranky, like like you never believe. I just hate it. Like my feet start to itch. Like I just completed like a month or two ago, I did the West Highland Way in Scotland. It's like a 100-mile hike. And we actually were quite lucky with the weather, but there was one day where it was just like a washout and my feet were like completely soaked within I don't know, by like 2 hours into the day. Oh, it was horrible. It was so bad. I hate it. So
It's
yeah,
so
I could deal with wet pants. Fine.
Maybe this is a feet thing. You know how there's like people have foot fetishes? Maybe there's like the reverse of a foot fetish. Like
people who are grossed out by feet.
Not necessarily grossed out, but like grossed out by the sensation of wet, cold feet. I couldn't care less if my feet are wet.
Oh, I fucking hate it, man. It's
You
so
hate when my
uncomfortable.
feet are wet?
What?
You hate when my feet are wet? This is my least favorite.
All
You
the
hate-
time with the wet
you
feet.
hate,
I'm sick of
you
it.
hate when my
I
underwear are
squish
wet.
it in.
So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh man. Well, dude, thank you so much for taking the time. We're so excited to see you in a few weeks.
Wicked, man. Yeah, we cannot wait to get back. Like yeah, Australia is, I know like probably every band says it, but it is like one of our favorite places to play like, in the world. So we're absolutely buzzing, and the last Good Things was so much fun, and there was such an atmosphere. So hell yeah, thank you.
This is
for
going to
having
be a
me.
good time. I think you're going to have to see us separately though, seeing as Dickhead's traveling again for your Sydney show. So I'm going to travel up to Brisbane to come watch you guys. So
Sick. Okay,
I'll be
nice
in
one.
in Sydney, or I might come to Brisbane with you.
we'll see how
We'll
we
see
go.
how we go.
Double up, why
Yeah.
not?
Thanks again
East,
so
man.
much,
We'll
buddy.
see you real
Appreciate
soon.
you.
My pleasure. Take care. See you soon.
Peace.